we want to go ahead and get this on track. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. This is the final webinar in the series, the PLS pre-conference webinars. This is something new we've done this year. This is the third, and we have recorded every one of these webinars. This one will be recorded as well and made available to everyone. So following this, we will be sending out a wrap-up of all 3 webinars with links and a link to the community as well, where the presentations will be stored. So if you want to review them again before PLS, or if you have questions you think you might have missed something, it will be recorded. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Really quickly, I know you guys know all this. I'll run through it just really quickly one more time, how to participate. This is the control panel you should see. You can open and close your panel. You can raise your hand by just clicking the hand raised sign if you have a question. Tina will be monitoring these throughout the presentation. You can also type text into the question box if you have a question. So please feel free to participate throughout this webinar. We definitely want to get your questions answered. If we can do that during the webinar, we will, and Tina will be watching for those questions and those hands raised. So please feel free to participate throughout the webinar. This is the PLS Committee and staff. Nola Nasser, PLS Chair. We have Andrew Weinberg, the PLS Incoming Chair. Tiffany Conenkamp is the past Chair. Kevin Hebblethwaite is our incoming President, National President. He's President-elect right with you. Holly Bolton is the chapter delegate. Tina Myers is National Staff, Senior Vice President. Myself, Mary Cruz, I'm Director of Chapter Services, and also Dan Riley. He's been working on PLS with us, and he's in the National Staff and Education Department. And Ron Worth is also joining us as well today. Kevin Hebblethwaite, I know you're on the call. He is here again. He's the incoming National President. He's serving President-elect currently, and also Ron Worth. Kevin, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Sure. Thanks so much, Mary. And as she mentioned, we are going to be serving together. And I was just thinking about sitting in your shoes back in 2003, I believe it was, when I was about to become a chapter president, and just spent a few minutes remembering how much of a memorable and great experience that was. As you look back on your chapter presidency in the years following it, you'll enjoy seeing many things that have come to fruition during the year you served and many that will come to fruition after you're gone. I want you to keep in mind that this is an opportunity to start dreaming big for your chapter, and you can go ahead and start envisioning all the great things you're going to accomplish as we celebrate together at the end of the year down at the National Conference in Orlando. So enjoy yourselves, come to PLS with an open mind, and certainly plan on having a lot of fun and making a great new list of friends that will be a part of your network around the country in SMPS. Ron?
Thank you, Kevin. Ron Worth, you are on the phone as well. Ron is the CEO of SMPS National, and I know PLS is definitely his favorite time of the year, as well as all the board members and staff. Ron, do you have a few words to share? I show that Ron is unmuted. Ron, if you just go ahead and start talking, we should be able to hear you. Okay. I see that he's on, and I see that he's unmuted, so I'm not sure what's going on. But if he jumps in throughout the call, we'll make sure he gets a few moments to speak with everyone. Tina, do you know if Rick and Diana have been able to join us as well? They just wanted to share with you their PLS experience. Diana Soldano, was chapter president of SMPS Long Island 2005-2006, as well as Rick Evans, he was chapter president of SMPS Fort Worth. He is currently serving. He attended PLS last year. I'm not sure if both of them were able to call in. We saw them dial in, and then we saw they were having some technical issues with their audio.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list. I don't see either of them on here, and I don't see them on the staff listing either.
Okay, we have 32 attendees. It looks like the few that we have speaking, unfortunately, are having some audio problems. Diana, if you can hear us, or Rick, please dial back in and use your audio pin so that you can speak to the group. Oh. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Before you arrive, and I'll make sure as well to share their stories. It was a nice part of this was just to have these guys be a part of this, to be able to tell you what their experience was like and to share how they prepared before getting to PLS. During the conference, how they made the most of the conference, and when they returned home. Both of them had some wonderful stories, and they said they definitely wanted to share that with us, and it's unfortunate we aren't able to get their audio, they aren't able to get their audio working, but I will make sure that we get their testimonials in some format and share that with the group. So,
Mary?
Yes, yes.
Ron was having a problem with his headset, but he's in the office right now, so I think that he can say a few words while he's here.
Okay, Ron, thank you.
You've all heard the story of the talking head. I've been in there talking away and and enjoying myself, but just wanted to say that this is truly one of the highlights of our year hosting each of you. This is always an absolutely fantastic event. You will have the time of your life along with learning a ton of things about the association that you had no idea that we did, and you'll leave with wonderful new tools going back to your chapters and will be motivated to tackle all of the wonderful challenges that are out there ahead of us. Everyone that has been through this comes through this with a different understanding and feeling about the association and a better belief and understanding about themselves. So again, I can't say enough how excited we are to host you here and are really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Again, if Diana or Rick joins us, we'll make sure to get them on this conversation. I do know a few of their stories. A little bit of what they've talked about for them was ahead of time. I know Diana and Rick especially. Diana, when she first came to PLS, they were a brand new chapter. They had just been chartered, so this was all new territory for them. They really had no preconceived notions of what to expect for PLS. Her and I talked just yesterday on the phone in length about her experience, and she really absolutely said that, the connections that she made with all of her peers, being able to bounce ideas off of each other, and also those challenges that her chapter were already, had been facing, as well as Rick Evans. I know one of Rick Evans, when we spoke, he said that one of his challenges that he really wanted to make happen that year, during his year, was to connect with SMPS National, to make sure that he built that bridge between the national board and staff in his chapter. And as you all know, we're always going to be here for you, whether you need to call us, whether you need to reach out to us. But at this PLS is a time to connect in person, to really get to know each other, and to be able to continue those relationships when you get home. That's why this conference is so vital. I mean, of course, all the content that you're going to walk away with, all of the information will obviously be given in print form and in flash drive, and you'll be able to revisit that, and you'll be taking a lot in, but it's those relationships that you're going to build with your peers, with all of the incoming presidents, with the board and the staff, really getting to know who we are and staying connected throughout your year. So again, this is their resounding stories that they've shared with me, and hopefully we can connect, we'll get them connected throughout by the end of this presentation. So again, before you arrive to PLS, there's definitely some checklist items that you need to make sure that you have done before you get to PLS. Obviously, registering and making your hotel reservation is a basic thing. We have 45, a little over 45 that have registered, so there's still about 10 to 12 that need to register. And making your hotel reservations. Also, emailing us your yearbook profile and photo. The yearbook is really a neat resource for you. I mean, you will receive it from us ahead of time. And in the yearbook, you'll see all the photos of those incoming presidents, a little information about them, who they are, and so that you can connect ahead of time. Start looking at that yearbook once you receive it. You should, again, receive this before you arrive, but highlight those individuals, maybe those chapters that you'd like to reach out to, or those others in your region, so that you can connect with those individuals immediately upon arrival. You'll recognize them, you'll know who they are, and you can start connecting right away. So if you haven't gotten us your profile and your photo, please do that as soon as possible, because you will have that the yearbook throughout the year. So you'll be able to go back to it and utilize it to reach out to your colleagues, to your peers. Also, prior to coming to PLS, one of the things that is new this year is the HPDI Assessment. You will want to complete that prior to arrival, and the due date is March 26th. And Tina's going to talk to us a little bit more about that. Tina?
Hello. Can you hear me okay, Mary?
I can.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I'm not using my headset. What I want to tell you about the test is not specifically all the details, because I'm really not the individual who's qualified to talk to you about the test. But here's what you need to know. A few weeks ago, I sent each of you a message talking about the test and working with GraceWorks on this program. It's a new program that we're actually working with them on for the first time in such detail. A part of the program, which is called Leading in Marketing with Your Whole Brain, is kind of a three-phase process. And the first phase is a very critical phase in getting you to take that assessment. So, so once you get here to PLS, they will have all the information they need to proceed with the rest of the program. One of the things that in the message that all of you have received is to put an emphasis on how important this program is. I'm sorry, I must be mumbling here because I'm getting a little feedback here, so I apologize. So let me start this over again. The program in the test, the assessment that you're taking, is critical. And because it is so critical, we actually had worked with our board, and it was determined that you, if you don't take the test and you're an attendee of this program, that you risk losing $100 from the stipend that is given to you after you attend PLS. So that's how important this is. If any of you have questions about it, if you did not get the message, if you did not get the directions, I'm going to be sending out a reminder to those who have not yet filled it out. And I think about 21 of you have already done so. But it shouldn't be a very lengthy process. And again, if you have any more details or questions about this, I'm happy to answer what questions I can, or even to connect you to the people who are going to be putting this together. So that's just what I have to say about that. But it is due by March 26th. All of them must be completed by then, so they can do the rest of the work and prepare for PLS. So that's it, Mary.
Great. Tina, I do believe I see that Rick, have you joined us?
Rick Evans?
I saw that he's on, and I saw that he's unmuted, so we'll try it again later. Rick, just chime in if you're able to get in. Also, again, Tina, this is back to you. Another opportunity prior to PLS, we will be conducting a focus group. Tina, you want to talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, this focus group, this is not a part of the PLS program. But what it is, because we have all of you together at the time, it's a perfect opportunity for us to guide you in a focus group that we're working on with McKinley Advisors. In 2005, we conducted with McKinley an environmental scan. And a very critical and important group were the presidents-elect at that time. And what we're hoping for, and we'll be sending out a message to all of you to see who can participate, especially for those who may be attending on arriving on Wednesday, is to see if you would be willing to participate in a focus group for about an hour and a half on Thursday morning, tentatively between 8 and 9:30 in the morning. The focus of this group is going to be you as a leader, what your experience is as a member, what your ideas are coming from your perspective as a leader in your chapter, and then what is it that has gotten you so engaged in the organization? What is your perspective? What are the things that have been helping you out? What is your relationship with us? So you're going to get a little bit of everything there, but it's so important that we get responses from all of you, our chapter leaders, or many of you. So keep an eye out for a message within the next couple of days. It will be coming from us in working with McKinley Advisors. all the details, everything will be in that message, and I hope that many of you will be able to participate. It really is going to be a great program, and we'll be able to deliver results to all of you mid-year as we work with our board and the team with this as well. So that's the opportunity. Mary, I'll give it back to you.
Great. Thanks, Tina. Okay. Also, preparing for PLS. You received, if you noticed, I'm sure you all did, because we did receive your roundtable topics, the topics that you have most interest in, and we asked you to rate them, 1 being the greatest and 2 and 3 for being the greatest importance to you. You can prep for these roundtables, really looking at, obviously, what it is about engaging industry leaders and decision makers that interest you. What is it? Are there specific questions that you have related to that topic? Jotting down those quick questions or thoughts, whatever it may be, maybe even sharing these topics with your current president and your board to get their input. Just a quick call with them to say, these are topics we're going to be discussing. In particular, making sure you have those items, because when you're in the in the middle of the moment with all these roundtables are occurring, you might miss something, or a thought might go out of your head, and you're going to say, man, I wish I thought about that then. So just thinking ahead of time and really looking at these topics, jotting down any thoughts that you have or questions or even best practices that you have. Your chapters are doing wonderful things, and I'm sure there are some programs, events that have gone really well. You're having great attendance to certain panels, client panels, whatever that may be, or a recruitment campaign that you've done, or best practice that you enact with your board members and your committees to make things run, organized and to be productive. Please jot those ideas down, so when you come, you're ready to go and you can just jump right in. Bring those ideas. Obviously, number 2 is, making sure that you have those great ideas. We want to hear all about it. I know some chapters sometimes they hold back, and I'll know certain things, and I'll say, why didn't you mention that? That was a great program that you did. And, I don't want to, speak too much, or I don't want to, be too overbearing. So don't worry about that. Please just bring your ideas. Everybody wants those, and it's a great idea exchange. Also, beforehand, please connect through My SMPS community. If you haven't logged into the community of My SMPS, there is a community called PLS Class 2012. You should have received an invitation several months ago. I know most of you, there's a lot of you already using the listserv and sending each other emails and asking questions through the community. And there's also everything that you need for PLS is saved there. The yearbook is, the program, and all of those items that we'll be handing out ahead of time during the conference and after the conference, and from now on, this community will be here for you. It's not just before or during PLS. This community will be here forever for you guys as a group, since you've gone through this class together, to always have that connection. So please, if you're not familiar with My SMPS or you haven't logged in, just let me know, and I will take care of that for you. Just send Mary an email. My name is Mary at smps.org, and I'll make sure you get in. During the conference, obviously, we know if you've received a program or you've had a chance to really look it over, there is a lot. There is a lot to cover in this 2.5-day period. It's going to seem overwhelming. Again, a lot of these presentations, the staff presentations, the other leadership presentations will be saved on the flash drive and available to you so that you can get back home and maybe watch it again, or sit down with your board or the specific board members related to those topics and share those presentations with them. And again, all of the chapter management manual that goes along with these different presentations will also be available in print and on the flash drive that you will receive. So really just being able to sit through these presentations and take it in and listen, and not having to frantically write notes. I mean, certainly you want to capture any great ideas and thoughts, but knowing that all of this information will be made available to you. Tina, is there anything you want to mention in particular about the program or about the speaking skills with GraceWorks?
No, not necessarily, but I did want to let you know that I think Rick Evans might be able to hear us now and be able to talk. Rick, are you out there? So I am so sorry about the technical difficulty, but what happened is I think he had some technical difficulties with his computer. So anyway, we'll keep on plugging away, but no, I have.
If you can hear us, Rick, just speak up whenever you're ready. Just say howdy. We'll listen for the howdy.
Oh. But I'll get back to you.
Okay, so this is the program, and again, please just, if you have any questions about any of what's going on, the breaks and anything in between, the Grace Works, what you're going to be walking away with, you a little bit more information on the class, the coaching class, how this is going to work, please just contact us ahead of time so we can address any of your thoughts and concerns, or even if you have a suggestion, we'd love to hear it prior to. Also, of course, a lot of these things are common sense, but again, it's a jam-packed 2.5 days, talking with as many peers as possible. You guys will be moving around and able to meet with different peers throughout, different president-elects throughout the process. So you're not going to just be sitting at one table next to the same person the whole time. So you will be encouraged to move around the room, and we'll be having different workshops in that way. But, you know, really getting a chance to spend time and talk with everyone, you know, just connecting as much as you can. It's going to be like a speed dating. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that. Engaging in the during the discussions. When we're talking, we're presenting. If Tina and I are presenting on membership, or Lisa's presenting on communications, please engage. Anytime, ask questions. In the moment, you know, we definitely want to answer and address any challenges or issues or ideas that you may have. And during the workshops as well, just making sure that not one person is always overtaking the conversation, that everybody really gets a chance to share. And that leads into share as much as you can. Bring samples. I know a year ago, or a couple years ago, Mike Toach from Columbus had brought a couple of actual pieces that they had done. One was I still have it, was a laminated card, was a programs card that they had, you know, in advance they knew what was going on, the topics were going on. It's something they put out at different luncheons. There were some other great ideas that the chapters are doing. So if you have an actual piece, bring it with you so you can discuss it and have something in hand. Unplug from work. I know this is very difficult, and during that 2.5 days, you guys, I know you're extremely busy. That life doesn't stop when you're here at PLS. But if any way possible, to try to just unplug during these 2.5 days as much as you can. I know it's difficult, but it's really good to really focus on all of what's going to be going on over these 2.5 days and what you're going to be taking in and learning, and really try to absorb that. And again, I know it can be difficult, but we really encourage that. And of course, we're going to have fun. I mean, this conference is always so much fun for the staff and the board and everyone that attends. It's not just all foot to the pedal, hard, you know, taking in all these presentations and work. I promise it'll be exciting. You won't fall asleep in your chair. You will be engaged, and I guarantee when you leave, you're gonna feel energized and just ready to go back and start your year. After you get home, this is, I think, one of the most important bit of information that we can share with you that really, I hope, there's so many times that when I talk to board members or chapter leaders after PLS, after they've gotten into the year, and that some of them, you know, a board member will say, I'm in membership, oh, I never saw anything, you know, from the manual. I don't even know what the manual is. And I know, again, it's hard to come back because you have to jump right back into work and try to catch up from being gone. But it's vital that you share this information that you learn with your team, that you come back on the plane or as soon as you get back when it's fresh in your mind, if you can organize your notes, organize your ideas and your thoughts, and when you come back, debrief your team. Try to do it as soon as you can so that it's still fresh, and that you can literally take the pieces of the manual. Tina's made it very easy this year, breaking out this manual into sections, and take it and share it. Put that in the hand of your membership chair, in the hand of your program chair, in the hand of your treasurer, and make sure that they have what will arm them for their year as well. Again, it's not going to be everything that they need to know, but it's going to be the majority of it. And anytime there's a question of something that's not in there, please contact us, reach out to us, any questions that you may have. But this information is so important, and being able to get it back to your team is vital. Yeah, also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just one more thing on the manual. Since many of you should be familiar with the chapter management manual already, but I want all of you to know that many items have been updated. When you're going through the PLS program, you're going to see that there is a lot of information that is thrown your way. I don't want all of you to feel compelled to be writing these notes and thinking that the information and the details aren't going to be available to you. And especially when we go through finance and administration and membership, everything and more is in detail in each of these chapter manuals. So that's why it's really important that you don't, we'll have copies for you, but take a look at them. As Mary said, bring them back to your team. We can have extra copies for you, but they'll all be available in the My SMPS library as well. But there's so much detail there. Most of the questions that we get asked can definitely go right back to your manual and answered. We're still always going to be here, but I want to make sure that you understand that this is really a great source of information and support for you.
Great. Tina, do we have any questions at this point?
I've been looking, and I had one question, but it was answered, and no one's hands are raised.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. And please, again, feel free to raise your hand or text a question to us, type a question. We will make sure to answer them if we can before the end of the webinar.
Well, and actually, you know what? I do have one question.
Okay.
Leah Boats is asking, the board has the chapter manual from August 2011. Are we getting a new manual with changes? So yes, I think I just answered that. So everyone is going to get a new manual, and they'll be broken down into sections just a little bit differently than what they've had in the past.
Yeah, so each year we do update the manual, but this year we've done kind of a deconstruction of it. We've taken it and broken it out into pieces that are cleaner and much easier to filter through and to share with your team. So, and again, a lot of this information has been updated. So you will get that again this year, and we will have it in print as well as on a flash drive for you to take back and share electronically. And preparing for your strategic planning meeting and your summer planning session. If you were not a part of the first webinar on strategic planning, one of the resounding things that came out of that webinar to me and the national team here, and I did a quick survey prior to that webinar, is that 60% of the chapters are not conducting a strategic planning session. They don't have a strategic plan, or if they have conducted a strategic planning session, it's been unproductive. I can't express enough how vital it is to be able to pull your current team together and your incoming team and to spend a half a day just trying to put together a strategic plan. Again, it does not have to be some 14, 50, 100-page document. This can be a 2-pager that really just narrows down your goals, exactly what are those 5 goals or 4 goals or 3, whatever they may be. How are they going to service the members, and who is going to be responsible for them, and deadlines and time frames. We provided, the webinar had a lot of information, so if you missed it, I really strongly advise you to watch, to participate in that webinar or listen to the recording prior to PLS. And to, there was a document that Tiffany Conenkamp shared, which was a sample plan that she used in an action plan. So you can really take it right away and just plug in what you need. We've tried to make it as easy as possible, but I really like to see by PLS that everybody can raise their hand and say they will have a strategic plan and they'll work on that this year. And again, these are 2 separate things. You have your strategic plan with your team to kind of map out what your overarching goals are, and then your summer planning session should take place you know, a month later. Usually the strategic planning happens in June, and then following that, maybe in July, is your summer planning session. It doesn't have to be that way. That's just on average. I think a lot of the chapters I talk to, that's how they're just planned or scheduled. And the summer planning session is really your team coming together again to map out what your programs are going to be. If you're going to have a recruitment campaign, a membership campaign, are there 10 firms that you want to reach out to and send, you know, someone to try to connect with that firm because there's no members from that firm. Whatever those goals are, the summer planning session should kind of echo the goals of your plan. And your plan really should be in front of you at every meeting, just in case new ideas come up and thoughts come up. You'll have that plan in front of you to make sure anything that's brought to the table is in line with your strategic plan. Tina, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you did well.
Okay. After as well, when you get home, big can't emphasize this enough, staying connected with your team. Use my SMPS, the 2010 class, the 2011 class. There is so much activity in those communities. These guys are constantly, I'm having a problem with our website, or who are you guys using? I'm having a problem with our budget and I can't get it, whatever it may be. Our treasurer is something with taxes. It could be related to any topic, to chapter management that you need help on. Please reach out to us. We are your lifeline. Tina, myself, here at the staff, anyone at the national office is here for you. If you can't reach one of us and you need an immediate answer, just keep dialing someone and we will get that question answered for you. The national board, they again are here for you. We make their emails and their phone numbers available to you so that you can reach out to any of the national staff board and also the PLS committee. Andrew Weinberg, are you able to speak, Andrew?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Yay. Andrew is our incoming Andrew is our incoming PLS committee chair, and he wants to emphasize he has a few thoughts as well on, I think, the during conference to really bring that home for you, but he can attest to, and Andrew, maybe you even talk about your experience briefly about PLS and what you were able to take home with you.
Okay, I just want to say that, like Diana Soldano, I was also a past chapter president of the Long Island chapter. My year was 2008-2009. I think that the main thing I want to say is everyone should really be getting excited at this point. And this is definitely going to be one of the highlights of your experience as a chapter president. It's just as good, just as fun, just as informative as you've heard from your colleagues, from from your chapter, from your past presidents. It is going to be an awesome experience. I have two quick things I want to just highlight. So many great things about PLS and so many things you're going to bring back. One thing I want to say is, quote unquote, collect the nuggets. So you're going to be sitting in seminars, workshops, roundtable discussions, open forum discussions. You're going to be in these talks for 2.5 days. And yes, you are going to get, I guess, on a flash drive, any of the PowerPoints that are put together. But as a result of all of these discussions, so many folks, so many of your colleagues, your fellow president-elects are going to be sharing lots of nuggets, lots of juicy ideas that you can bring back to your chapters. So, be diligent about taking notes, maybe just a few quick words in your notepad just to help you remember what the topic was about. Because so much is going to be talked about during those 2.5 days, you're not always going to remember everything. So I would suggest being good about taking notes about those juicy ideas. Secondly, Mary mentioned before, it's like speed dating. Absolutely true, but you're all in the same boat, which is great. So everybody sort of understands that you're all in this together. Definitely take advantage of meeting each other. And for a lot of folks, I know it was this way for me, this is really your first opportunity to gain a nationwide network. And I truly thank SMPS for that, because it has become a very valuable asset to my career and to what I offer to my firm. Having connections to virtually every region in the country, even if it's not the right discipline or the right firm, you have a friend in San Francisco or Wyoming or New York or wherever who can connect you to what it is that you need. So it's an amazing network that you're either building upon or starting, and definitely take advantage of that. So I think with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mary. And can't wait to see you all in April.
Thank you, Andrew. And again, emphasizing that connection, and like he's speaking to as well, it's not just about connecting to the staff and the board, but and sharing your ideas and maybe trying to get help for you regarding chapter management. It's also having those connections across the country, for your firm. Like he said, that's huge. You're always wanting to also connect and have that that ability as well. So it is a wonderful experience. This is, again, a little picture from last year. This was at the welcome reception that we had inside the national office. Quite a few people here. Again, I can't emphasize it enough. We hope to see you all in April. I know most of you will be there. We rarely have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that can't make it. So the majority of you will be here. If you have any questions related to the program, to the Saturday GraceWorks presentation events and coaching that's going on to the exam, or not the exam, but the assessment that we need you to take by March 26th, anything related to that, or if you're interested, as we mentioned, an opportunity to participate in a focus group. We believe, we're not 100% sure of the time yet, but we're thinking, and we will certainly let you know of that as soon as possible, that it's going to take place Thursday morning early. So if you're able to come in Thursday and participate in that focus group, that would be great. But we will let you know more about that within the next day or two. Again, keep an eye out for we'll be sending communications to you regarding maybe some of the fun things that are going to be taking place regarding, there's an icebreaker on the first day. We'll be going around a room, and there's going to be some fun exercises related to that, and we may need you to bring something with you. So we'll make sure to get that out to you as soon as possible as well. So again, if you have questions, please send them to us, Tina Myers, myself, Mary Cruz. Any of the committee will be able to answer those for you prior to. And thank you all so much for agreeing to serve as president, for bringing the energy you've brought, and for attending PLS. We really appreciate everything that you do and your dedication. So I think that's it, Tina, unless there are any questions that you have through hands raised or questions on the anything, Tina?
There was only one question. Someone had asked how many presidents-elect are we expecting to attend. We are hoping and should have at least 53 of you attending the program.
Yeah, I think
one last. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think as of right now, yeah, there's 3 that won't be able to make it that we know of. So that's a great number. Go ahead.
So there's just one last thing that I wanted to say, and this is actually a follow-up from the last webinar and the survey. There were a couple of questions regarding, the training specifically for other members of your board. PLS obviously is for each of you as president-elect in the things that you need to work on as and manage as you become president and what you need to prepare for. Of course, though, you have a treasurer, a secretary, a programs person, a membership person who may benefit from special training as well. So I want you to all know that PLS is your time, but we are working on putting together special training for specific positions within your leadership team. So finance administration will be one of those, membership will be another, programs will be another. And rather than just sharing best ideas, we're really going to work on it as being more of a training element. So we'll give you more information as we go along, because you are going to find that much of the information you really want shared with your team, and we're working to make that happen as well. That's it.
Okay. Well, again, I do apologize for some of the technical difficulties our 2 speakers had connecting. So I do apologize for that, and I know they really want to get their stories out to you about their experiences. So I'll find a way to get that from Diana and Rick and share it with you all. So be looking for an email. I'll be sending the recording and of this webinar and the previous 2, as well as Rick and Diana's testimony. So thank you all. Have a great day, and we'll see you in April.